D-Day itself.
And Ben, you rightly mentioned we had Gabby in the glider a little bit later. It's not a military capability anymore.
No.
Largely replaced by heavy lift helicopters and also air landing in aircraft like the A400, the C-17 that can operate off fairly small and unprepared strips. But the whole concept of towing a very large glider, the main one used by the UK forces, the airspeed hawser, was a very big wingspan, just about the same as a Lancaster bomber.
Yes, indeed, and we'll mention a little bit more about this when we are about to see the glider later, I think, because there's a big connection with this very airfield, with the hawser in particular. Just bringing in the pits. Yes, there it is. It has landed, the muscle pits of Rich Goodwin air shows, which will be being featured later. And you can have a look at his new one, the jet pits, in the corporate stem hangar, which is not far from the control tower.
Wave the Lynx has got its throat.
And indeed, air show goers for many years. Well, you'll remember the Royal Navy Sharks team of Gazelles. That was a 4-ship. The Army Air Corps Blue Eagles used to fly 4 Gazelles, largely also with a Lynx. The RAF used to have, I forget whether it was a 2 or 3 ship team, it was before my time, called very imaginatively the Gazelles. And so it's always been a great display machine. And those days are rekindled by the civilian owners and pilots who make up the Gazelle Squadron. They're based at Landmead Airfield near Wantage in Oxfordshire. And when we talk...
The largest aircraft to ever serve the Royal Air Force quite soon. The Seafire, of course, that's still under maintenance, but I think it's looking quite good at the moment.
Yes, that was on the circuit last year, hopefully to return later this year.
The Wasp we've seen, a Harvard and a Stimson Reliance, and a Tiger Moth are all airworthy at the moment. Perhaps a bit longer term, of course, the Seahawk. We haven't seen that for many years.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll have the Sea Fury back as well quite soon.
Yes, the programme to re-engine that away from the original Bristol Centaurus. It will be very nice to see the single-seat Sea Fury back on the circuit. And the Seahawk, which was stalled for quite a long time, not far from here at Shawbury, it has now taken to getting back into the air. One of the most beautiful jet aircraft, I reckon, there's ever been.
And what a sight that will be.
Right, so there goes Red Ted with the judo back to Shawbury. I think that concludes the judo movements for the Red Arrows here for today. Let's just mention the Harvard, and we are about to see an example of what's colloquially described today. And with the Harvard vacated the runway, it's on the runway now behind. It may look like a pit special, it's a very special pit special. This is Rich Goodwin, this is his muscle biplane. Pitt's S-2S. Lycoming engine. Outstanding display act on the circuit when Rich Goodwin first introduced it in the mid-2010s. Of course, since then he's gone even further with his jet pit, which you might have seen in one of the hangar displays here. But this is an aeroplane of absolutely exceptional capability. A 6-cylinder, 8.5-litre engine delivers an amazing power to weight ratio, as we saw there in the aircraft very nearly. But now diving to build up speed and energy. Making full use of the in excess of 300 horsepower at this aircraft's disposal. Its flying weight is just 700 kilos, maximum speed in excess of 200 miles an hour, and it's stressed to between +6 and -5 G. And the aircraft has been continually modified and improved. And a lot of this being done with the aid of Rich's sponsors, his title sponsor for this season being it is very much a team effort, and the work done behind the scenes by, for example, the designer Eddie Sauerman, engineer Colin Hales and engineer John White have been absolutely crucial in allowing Rich to get where he is today. Amazing control responses, an incredibly high roll rate. He'll be pushing uncomfortably into 5/8 of an outside loop, back onto a 45-degree downline, and then when he reaches the knife edge, for a knife edge climb with 2 snap rolls back onto the knife edge. All this from a development of an aircraft type that originally flew 80 years ago this year, the original example of what became known as the Pitt Special, designed by aerobatic pilot Curtis Pitts, first took to the air before World War II ended during 1944. Now you can see he's gained plenty of height, but there he rolls, he tips in into a high-speed rolling dive. And from this, he'll pull round to the left, and up into the left. Tower of power. Snap rolling in the vertical, round and around. The airspeed bleeds off. He starts torque rolling back down through his own smoke. Putting on the power once again and diving away onto our left. Pulling back on the stick, the climbing snap rolls. Descending back onto the main A-axis. Again, he snap rolls into a yawing turn to the left, and this time, when he pulls vertical, he slow rolls the aircraft in the vertical, up to the apex. He pulls it through, and then multiple snap rolls coming up on the 45-degree down line. surfacers on the knife edge with snap rolls heading away. And he's now repositioning as he comes towards the end of his sequence to give you an even better look at the upper surfacers and this beautiful Union flag design on them as he comes round for a low-level side slip pass. Rich is an ex-RAF pilot, notably on the Tornado GR1 strike aircraft force. He comes from an RAF background. His late father, Ken Goodwin, was a fantastic exponent of display aerobatics in the Hawker Hunter and the English Electric Lightning, and he's followed in those grand air show traditions. Look at this. This is Richard's low-level knife edge. Absolutely fantastic showman.
And as you'd expect, no normal approach from Rich. Very tight, a bit of side slip in there.
But of course, forward visibility at a bit of a premium, so it keeps the runway in sight for him until the last possible moment.
I did one shift, I only did one shift.
And there he is, back on the ground. A fantastic exhibition of the muscle pits from Rich Goodwin. 1942 onwards, when America joined World War II and became engaged in the European theatre.